Hello, welcome to my channel, Solely Joe. I am Joe, and today I'm going to show you how to make a double-sided strap for your bags. Obviously, this is not the size of a strap in length. You decide what length of strap. I'm using shorter pieces just so that I can show you exactly what I'm doing and it can fit on the space that I'm working with. This is just an example. You need two pieces of fabric in different colors or prints and two pieces of interfacing of the same width but 1 inch shorter. What we'll do, we'll place our interfacing on the wrong side of our fabric. We're placing this shiny side on the wrong side of our fabric. Make sure it's lined up nicely. You should have 1/2 inch on each side. And we're going to fasten this using our iron. Now we fasten our interfacing. We're going to fold in half lengthwise, matching the raw edges. Use your fingers to finger press. Now I'm going to use the iron to create a crease. Now that we have a crease, we're going to fold the raw edges in toward that crease. Now you can leave the raw edges if you're going to sew your strap inside of a bag, as if you're making, let's say you're making a tote bag and you want to put your handle between the seams of the exterior and the interior, then you can not worry about the raw edges because it won't be showing. But if you want your edges to show, let's say you're stitching the strap on the outside of the bag, then you don't want to have raw edges on the outside of your bag. You're going to fold that edge in. I should have done this at the beginning, but I did not because I wanted to explain that to you. Just give it a little press and fold in. Where you won't have any raw edges. So you have options, raw edges or not. And this is what we want. We're going to set that aside and repeat for the other one. That's it for the pressing section of the video. I didn't phrase a lot, so you can use fray check to sort that out. See, these are your two pieces now. Just look decent. Now we're gonna match these up like this. And this is a 1-inch wide strap. Before it was folded, the material, the size of the width of the fabric that I used was 2 inches wide, to whatever length that you would like. Place them together like this. I'm just gonna use a few of these hair clips to hold. There we go. So I think I'm going to use a 3.5 stitch length. Let's see what that looks like to stitch around the perimeter. Again, you will place the needle to the right of your fabric and match up the raw edges of your fabric and the side of your sewing machine foot. Make sure you're about a ½ inch in on your fabric from the short edge in, so that you have room to backstitch and that the foot is balanced on your material. Remove any pin or clips that you have in the way and we'll begin stitching. We'll do about 2 or 3 stitching, then go back. Ooh, shouldn't have gone all the way back, shouldn't have done that. Scratch that, that was a mistake. I'm going to remove stitching. That might look a bit, oh okay, we have room, it's okay. Don't backstitch all the way to the edge because we have to sew around the corner there as well. Hopefully I left enough room from the edge here. Let's go again. Mistakes happen. Going forward, you don't always have to backstitch. In this case, I didn't have to backstitch here. I could have just stitched and go all around and meet back and just overstitch where I started, and that would have locked the stitches there. But since I already backstitch, we're gonna keep going. I don't feel to use the seam ripper right now. This is just an example for you guys, but you can do the right way. Do not backstitch, just go all around and then overstitch where you started to lock the stitches. I hope that makes sense to you. Just use your finger, make sure everything is smooth. I'm using a 1/8 seam allowance. Don't know if I said that. Take your time as you come to the edge. You can hand crank just to be sure. I'm going to keep going a little bit. I think that's enough. I'm going to take it a bit close to the edge. Now I'm going to turn, and this will make to balance my presser foot, because as you can see, if I lower it, the back is down and the front is cocked up. So I'm going to use, this is a nail file, I believe it was, and I removed the file part, and this is what is in the center, like a, I don't know, sponge foam or something of the sort. Using this to balance my foot. I'm going to roll up some fabric. As long as it matches the height of the fabric you're working on, it should be fine. This is not quite, slipping a little bit. We'll work with that. So now the foot is a little bit more balanced. Always make sure that your needle is in a down position when pivoting or going around a corner. I'm hand cranking because I don't want to go over the edge. This is pretty good. We're going to continue. As I said, always make sure that your needle is in the down position when pivoting. If the needle is having a tough time going through your fabric, just hand crank. Ooh. I'm just trying to keep the fabrics as smooth as possible. Another thing I didn't do was increase my stitch length. Another mistake. I forgot to increase my stitch length. That's why you're seeing those tight stitching. But that's okay. You're going to increase yours and make sure that your top stitching looks pretty. Let's go one more. Nice. And we're going to pivot again. Use something to balance the foot. And ooh, I have some skipped stitches there. So I have to go back. Oh my goodness. I wasn't keeping track of my bobbin thread, so it ran out, and I have a bunch of skip stitches instead. This is my bobbin right here, and I didn't even notice. We're gonna have to refill and continue. Not bad so far. Looks pretty okay. I'm gonna wind the bobbin and come back. So I'm gonna do some trimming on the threads. So I pulled both threads to the back, and I think I want to give it a tie just to secure it. But I'm going to start from just a little bit over and then continue. Take your time and lower your needle just to make sure that you're in the proper alignment. Nice. So you can stitch forward one or two and then stitch backward just to lock and continue. So I'm going to go forward one, back one, and continue. One more. Yes, I'm playing it real close to the edge. Let's finish up. Again, hand crank if you're having a hard time. Ooh, this part is close. I'm passing this line. I don't want that. I'm going to lower my stitch length to 2. I had it at 2.5 just so I don't go over, and raise up and go back and line up with my thread, and then nice, right in the spot that I need to go. Pivot, and we're gonna go over about 2 stitches. You can hand crank if you like. There we go. End. So the stitching wasn't so bad. Now you see you have the edges are not raw, and you have a pretty neat strap. Again, you can use matching thread. You don't have to contrast like I did. You can use blue on the bottom. You could fill your bobbin thread with blue thread to match this, and the top with green, and so that they will match and doesn't look too bad if your stitching is wonky. Mine is wonky. I should have used a longer stitch length, but I didn't remember, so I use a short stitch length and it looked a little wonky, but secure. What we're going to do now, again, we're going to choose a side that we find looks better, and then we're going to pull our threads to the other side. Kind of like the green side better, and so I'm going to pull my thread to the blue side. In order to do that, you pull up on your thread, you will see a loop. Hopefully you see that with your finger if you can get it, or use a pin and pull up. Now you have both threads on one side. You can either tie off, and since I locked my stitches, I don't feel the need to tie it, so I'll just clip. Same thing for over here. Sometimes it's not so, the loop is not so obvious and it might not come up, so in that case we just trim. Don't worry about it because I locked my stitches. That is, I back stitched, so I don't have to worry about the thread loosing. Get as close and trim your thread as you can. There. And this is how you make a double-sided strap. So what you'll do, you'll make this as long as you like, whether you make an adjustable strap or not, and you'll add this to your bags. This will be your handle. You can decide which side you want to use. It's just cute. Add a nice little spice to your bag. Another way you can do, you can make one like a 1/4 inch on each side, narrower. That way you can see the bottom color on top. So if I made this blue 1/4 inch narrower on each side, or just 1/4 inch narrower than the other one, I would have seen more green on the edges here. That's an idea you can try. I hope this was helpful to you. I hope you subscribe, share, and comment. See you in my next tutorial. Bye.